Hey friends, welcome back to the My Creative Days podcast. I'm Lindsay, and I'm always looking for ways to save money, make life easier, and stay creative in the process. Around here, we talk about DIY projects, thrifting, home decor, furniture flipping houses, and so much more. I also share a lot of Q&As because I love answering your questions and diving into real life stuff you're actually dealing with. So whether you're listening in your car, working on a project, cleaning the house, or just sneaking in a quiet moment to yourself, I'm really glad you're here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a quick minute to tell you about the Furniture Flipping Academy. I created the Academy to be an all-in-one resource for anybody who wants to learn furniture flipping. Whether you're looking for a creative outlet, some extra income, a side hustle, money to pay down debt, save for vacations, or even opportunities to work with companies and brands, the Academy walks you through every step on how to get started through how to grow. Inside, you'll find lessons on finding furniture, flipping it with confidence, pricing it, selling it, and so much more. There is so much inside the Furniture Flipping Academy. It's completely self-paced. You get lifetime access. It is a resource you'll come back to again and again throughout your flipping journey. And right now, it's at the lowest price it's ever been. You can find all the details and the link in the show description. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I got a message recently that honestly stopped me in my tracks. I want to share it with you today because I have a feeling that it's going to sound a lot like many of you who are quietly thinking it, but not always saying it out loud. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't dramatic. It was just real life. And to be completely honest, I was there and I have felt a lot of the things that came in this message. And it is legitimately one of the reasons why I started My Creative Days way back when, not knowing what the heck I was doing. And I can exactly the minute that I know exactly where I was standing in our house. I remember it. It was an afternoon. And I remember thinking, this isn't it. Like there's something else. There's like this nagging something. And then it wasn't that day or anything, but then My Creative Days happened. And it was just, when I read this message, it was from a first-time mom who's feeling a little lost in her season right now. And if you've ever felt that way, you're going to understand this immediately. Like it just... And I wasn't a first-time mom. It was after I had had both of our kids. I was home with the kids. And at this point, I was also watching some of my friends' kids. And there was something nagging at me and I didn't know what it was. So I thought this could be a good podcast episode because, again, I think a lot of people feel these things, but they don't say it. And because there's a lot of things that I don't say out loud. I am an open book, but there's a lot of things that I'm feeling that I don't say out loud. But when you hear somebody else say it, you're like, oh my gosh, like I am normal. Like this is a normal feeling. This is where I'm supposed to be. So I just thought I would share it today because it literally stopped me in my tracks because I've been there. I understand it. And number one, you're not alone. But number two, it is this nagging thing, this thing that keeps like just coming up. That is the thing. That is the thing. And that is a good thing. So I'm just going to kind of paraphrase what the message was. Like I said, she's a first-time mom to a 17-month-old who's about her son is about to start daycare soon. And she started a new job and she just isn't happy. Not with this job, not with past jobs, not really with any career she's tried so far. And she said something that this is the part that really stuck with me. She said she keeps watching videos about furniture flipping and she has this feeling deep inside her like something is waking her up again when she watches that. Now, this is about furniture flipping, and you know that's part of what I do on My Creative Days. I created the Academy, but this post is, or this episode is more about that feeling. So for her, it was when she was watching, furniture flipping, and she's just got that, again, nagging thing. Something inside her is waking up again, and the part that she said, I want to do this. I know I can do this. And that right there, I hear this from so many people with furniture flipping. that we put it in a lot of our marketing, and you've just got that nagging feeling. You can do this. You watch people do this, or you can pick out really good furniture or whatever it is, but you just don't know where to start, or you just haven't taken that step. I got that over and over and over again. So hello, the Academy. Check the show description for the link to that. And there was a little blurb about that before this episode started, but she's never done furniture flipping before. She knows she's creative, or at least she used to be, right? Now she's a new mom. And somewhere along the way between being a mom and working full time, that part of her got quiet. That creative part of her got quiet. And that right there resonates with me so hard. Because I didn't know this until later on. I always knew, like, people would say, you're so creative, you're so creative. I get it. Like, yeah, I could come up with some great ideas, before Pinterest, or that comes with, I really feel like that came from the way I was raised. It comes from my mom. My parents didn't have a lot of money. And so, but we didn't know that. And the things that she would do with us, the projects she would do, the activities she would have us do, like we used what we had, and we had imagination, and it just grew from there. So, but that nagging feeling that I had, same with her, it was like, there's got to be something more. There's got to be something more. I have to be doing something more. There's a way to do this. Like, I know that feeling where she knows she's creative, and that part got quiet. And now she's feeling lost. She said she wants so badly to quit her job and just go in on furniture full time, but she's scared, and she's not even sure how to start. Her partner is supportive, she said, but beyond that, she just wants to be able to support her family and feel proud of what she's doing. And I hear her. I so know this. And I've kind of said how I relate to this. It's so funny because that instant, I can remember it. And I have the worst memory, I feel like sometimes, but that I can remember talking to myself, praying about it, and being like, this isn't it. What is it? It was like this thing that was just like nagging at me, but I didn't know what it was. And then time went on, and then my creative days happened. It totally is the reason why my creative days happen. And so when everything looks fine on the outside, but the inside you feel a little disconnected from yourself, I so know this. And even now, I'm going to be completely honest with what I'm going through now, the age and stage that I am now with my dad in a nursing home. The kids are pretty much independent, not fully out on their own. I mean, Landon has been kind of over this past year, but he's home a lot, But it's weird. I do feel disconnected from myself. So I know back then when I had young kids, and I know now, like, I know that feeling she's going through. You're showing up, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're taking care of responsibilities, but that creative part of you feels quieter and quieter over time. You don't always notice it happening until one day you realize you just don't feel like yourself anymore. And I think that's what I hear most in her message. Not someone who is lost, but someone who is starting to notice that creative part of her again. And that's really, to be completely honest, that is such a real powerful moment when you realize those things. Nobody really tells you this, but there are seasons in life where you don't feel like yourself anymore. And I am in one right now. Not because you changed in a bad way, but because life got louder than your creativity, or like life got louder than what you expected. I guess that's what I should say. Becoming a mom, starting a job, trying to hold everything together for her, it can just slowly push parts of you in the background without you even realizing it. And that is one thing that I wish I would have, and you don't know until you don't know what you don't know, but you do lose yourself when you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a worker, whatever it is that you do, and then one day you wake up and you're like, I don't even know what I like anymore. It's so crazy that this message came through, because it's when I started thinking about it, I mean, number one, the furniture flipping, like, I can talk to her, and I've been back and forth with her. I can talk to her all day about it and guide her on that. But it was like, wait a minute, this is me right now too. And to anyone that's feeling this way, it's not random. It's not random that you're feeling that, right? It doesn't mean the answer is to quit your job tomorrow and blow your entire life either, right? but fear will hold you back from trying something new. It's either, and it gets to a point where you feel like I'm going to stay stuck forever or completely start over with no plan. And that's just not true, right? That is just not true at all. Feeling stuck doesn't always mean your life is wrong. Sometimes it just means you've outgrown how you're currently spending your energy. Can I say that again for the people in the back? Sometimes it just means you've outgrown how you're currently spending your energy. And that can feel really uncomfortable, especially when you're a mom, right? And when you're responsible for stability, when you're trying to do everything right. But it doesn't mean you should ignore it either, right? And it doesn't mean you should rush it. And it just means you need to listen to it differently. So like I said, I've kind of gone, I've sent her a personal voice message, just encouraging her. And I did tell her, you don't need to quit your job to prove to yourself that this feeling is real. And you don't need to have everything figured out to take the first step, right? You just need to test the feeling and start small. Not dramatic, not life-changing overnight, just small. I always say put one foot in front of the other. Do the next right thing or do the next forward thing, if that makes sense. So for her, it's just find one piece of furniture. And maybe it's something she has in her house right now, right? Just a simple piece, needs all it needs is a little sanding, maybe some paint to make it totally different, right? Something that you can kind of see the outcome for. You can see the outcome instantly, kind of. It's not that you need to make an entire career change. It's the feeling of creating something with your hands and just you creatively again. And it's the moment where you step back and think, I did that, right? That's what wakes people back up, especially creative people. For me, in the season that I'm in right now, where I say this totally resonates with me, it's not, I find that if I'm bored and I'm not being creative, that's not a good thing. But it's this season of life where it's like, who am I now? What am I doing? It's happening all over again. And I'm going to be completely honest. I don't love it. I've talked about it kind of on social media a little bit, but this stage of life, what I am going through, I need to stop saying we, just with our kids, where they are and the stage they're in. And then like my dad, it's tough. So I so get this. I feel like I've kind of gone off track, and I have a little bit because it's just, as I'm talking about it even more, I have my notes here, but it's crazy to me that I know that feeling she's in, and I know that feeling that I'm in right now. Like I've had it at both stages of life. They are different, but yet there's a lot of it that's the same. And I think for creative people, I think creativity isn't something you either have or you don't. I don't believe that. I think it gets buried under responsibility. It gets quiet when life gets loud, and something small can pull it out again. You could be watching something. You could be looking at a magazine. You could be, a lot of times when I'm feeling, like I'm like, I have no ideas. I don't know but I know I need to be creative. I have to create something. I have to do something. I will leave my office. The best ideas for me come when I'm not sitting at my desk, to be completely honest. And even for Matt and I were talking about this the other day, even for his job, he was out doing something else and he got this great idea for something. And I said, I swear, it's like you get out of your office, and your just brain opens up a little bit. I feel like when I'm at my desk, there are certain things I have to get done. And so you're just not creative at all. You're like just going through the motions. And that's what life is, right? You've got responsibilities and things take over, and then you're just going through the motions. And then something happens, or it just hits, or it strikes you that, wait, I've just lost myself in all of this. And where am I going? What am I doing? But when it starts calling to you again, it's worth paying attention to. Just notice it, right? So if you're listening and you feel a little bit like her, lost, unsure, curious, but scared, you don't need to decide your whole future today, right? Just do one thing that reconnects you. Just do one thing that reconnects to what you used to do, used to love, something that reconnects you to creativity, right? Go to a thrift shop and see if there's something there you can make over. Start a small project. Maybe it's baking something or cooking or something. It's just I'm going to go try this and see what happens moment, right? So to leave you with this, You don't have to have it all figured out to start at all, right? And especially if we're gonna just talk about furniture flipping, check out the Academy. It's the lowest price it's ever been. I'm leaving it at that price for I'm not sure how long, but literally we made it so anybody can join, and so you don't have to start and just willy-nilly and just be wasting a bunch of time, money, and effort on your projects, right? Just click the link and join, and you'll have lifetime access. And you can join now and not consume any of it for 6 months, but get it now when the prices is low, because if it changes, it won't go back to this price. And you don't have to abandon your entire life to explore what else might be possible for you. I think as moms that sometimes we think that like, I just can be a mom. Like I have to, that's what these kids have to be great. I've got to raise these kids. But there is so much of you, and Matt and I talk about that now. And it was funny because he just realized it the other night. Gabrielle has been she's going to be dog sitting for 16 days. So she's been away from the house more than she ever has been. And like I said, Landon's mostly out of the house for this year. We're not sure what he's going to do here when his lease is up. But so Matt actually looked at me and he's like, it's just us. Like I've realized this for a long time now, but it hit him the other night with Gabrielle being gone. And I said to him, I'm like, I know it's just weird. And he said, and this is kind of talks about all this, the whole creativity thing. He's like, we're not good with just sitting around. And we aren't. Matt and I we are doers. We like to go do things, or we like to be working on a project, or, he loves to work in the yard. For us to just be sitting and doing nothing, there's so many times where we're both like, we're just antsy. And we say that. It's like, okay, what do you want to do? Like, we need to go do something. We have walked more in this season than we have ever walked. But it's just weird. So I do think you owe it to yourself not to ignore that quiet little voice that keeps showing up, though. It doesn't usually go away on its own, right? It either gets ignored or it gets explored. And sometimes the smallest step is all it takes to remind you, okay, there I am. Yeah, that's me. That's what I love. You know what I mean? You just need to put that one step forward. So if this podcast resonated with you, I would love to hear your story. You can always reach out to me on Instagram at @mycreativedays. Just send me a DM there. And if you're in this season of life where I am, or maybe she is, reach out to me. If you have any tips, it's like cooking for just 2 people anymore. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself. It's just weird. So this message really resonated with me, and I thought it would be a great podcast episode because I think it could resonate with a lot of people. And if that's you, I hope some of it was helpful. I know I went off on a little tangent and a little sideways a few times, but yeah, until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon.